Happening now, why the push to roll back Governor Cuomo's emergency powers isn't what it seems. Plus, the latest in COVID-19 vaccine availability here locally.
Well, some snow showers have been falling across the region this morning. They're going to taper off this afternoon, plus a big warm-up next week. We'll talk about it next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. New York State Senator George Borrello says a bill that would roll back Governor Andrew Cuomo's emergency authority is actually doing the complete opposite. In a Wednesday press conference briefing, Cuomo settled to support a bill that would allow the legislature to replay any executive order within 50% of lawmakers agreeing. Cuomo says he will give notice of changes at least 5 days prior to them taking effect, unless an immediate emergency was underway. The governor says he'll consult with lawmakers about changes to his executive orders during that 5-day period. Now, in an interview with us this morning, Senator Borrello says the proposed bill, which could go up for a vote as soon as tomorrow, actually extends the governor's authority almost indefinitely, something he calls a dangerous move.
He claims that once the federal government says the pandemic is no longer a state of emergency, that he will rescind his powers. But that is his own metric. That is his own guidance. He has the authority to go on forever until he assumes that this is no longer a state of emergency, and he rescinds the New York state of emergency.
Borrello says tomorrow's vote will likely see some pushback, not just from Republicans, but moderate Democrats as well. Well, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo apologized for his past behavior following allegations of sexual harassment yesterday. As Athena Jones reports, Cuomo rejecting calls for him to resign.
I'm not going to resign.
Embattled New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, vowing to remain in office amid allegations of sexual harassment from 2 former aides and an unwanted advance from a 3rd woman.
I now understand that I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable. It was unintentional, and I truly and deeply apologize for it.
Cuomo speaking publicly for the first time since the accusers came forward. He urged New Yorkers to wait for the state attorney general's investigation to be completed before making a final judgment.
I never touched anyone inappropriately.
Deborah Katz, an attorney for Charlotte Bennett, who alleges Cuomo asked her inappropriate questions about her sex life when she worked as an aide, said in a statement, "The governor's press conference was full of falsehoods and inaccurate information, and New Yorkers deserve better." Lindsey Boylan, another former aide who accused him of kissing her on the lips after a one-on-one meeting in 2018, said this in a tweet: "How can New Yorkers trust you to lead our state if you don't know when you've been inappropriate with your own staff?" Cuomo also responded to a 3rd allegation made by Anna Ruck, who told the New York Times that Cuomo made an unwanted advance toward her at a wedding reception in 2019, an incident apparently captured in this photo.
It is my usual and customary way of greeting. I didn't mean it that way, but if that's how they felt, that's all that matters, and I apologize.
Cuomo speaking as the state legislature is moving to strip him of his emergency powers granted at the start of the coronavirus pandemic. While some state legislators are still calling for the governor to resign, the state Senate Majority Leader says the investigation should conclude before a decision is made.
He's saying that nothing inappropriate happened. If the investigation shows that something inappropriate did happen, I think he would have to resign.
Athena Jones reporting. Thank you. Cuomo is also facing allegations of trying to cover up how many nursing home residents in New York died from COVID-19. He has said his office made a mistake and acknowledged not providing quick data enough. Cuomo also saying all the deaths in nursing homes and hospitals were fully, publicly, and accurately reported. Well, New York will soon loosen restrictions on private gatherings and clear the way for some public performances. that have been banned for nearly a year because of the pandemic. Arts and entertainment venues will be allowed to open at a third of their capacity and welcome up to 100 people indoors and 200 outdoors starting April 2nd. Limits would be slightly higher, with 150 people inside and 500 out if venues can implement a system in which attendees show up proof of a receipt of a negative COVID-19 vaccine test before entering. The limit for outdoor private gatherings at people's homes will rise from 10 to 25 starting March 22nd. State leaders cited improvements in the daily count of new coronavirus cases since January and the rollout of the vaccines as justification for loosening those restrictions. Well, appointments for several COVID-19 vaccination sites in both Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County went online this morning. In Chautauqua County, the health department says appointments for several clinics for residents 65 and older, those with pre-existing conditions, and essential workers are now available. More than 500 doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine earmarked for the elderly will be distributed tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. at SUNY JCC's gymnasium. Back-to-back clinics for those 65 and older, essential workers, and people with pre-existing conditions offering Moderna's dose will take place at SUNY Fredonia's Steel Hall Ice Rink coming up Monday. Residents must have an appointment in order to receive the vaccine. You can register online at chqgov.com. That's chqgov.com. New York State health leaders say a mass COVID-19 vaccination site at SUNY JCC's Olean campus starts tomorrow at noon and runs through Tuesday. Now, to book a time slot, you must use the Am I Eligible tool on the state's website or call a vaccine hotline. As of late, all appointments for that clinic booked up. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of local headlines that matter to you. Let's check in with the comments and see what everyone's saying on this Thursday afternoon. Great to see Hector. Happy Thursday to you, sir. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good to see Natalie. Great to see Butch, Lauren, Peggy, Joseph, Sandy, Carl, Connie, and Stephen as well. Hopefully you are having a good day. We appreciate you tuning in. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that. Hey, Dakota.
Happy Tuesday, Justin, and happy Tuesday to, it's Thursday, not Tuesday. 2 days. Thursday, tomato, who cares? This is a look over Salamanca. We actually have some snow falling across the area early this afternoon. Temperatures actually are not going to budge too much from where they are right now. And the radar shows you the snow that's been coming through the area this morning. This has just been a quick hitting blast of some light snow showers. Little accumulation, I think about a dusting to about a ½ inch of snow likely through the rest of today. And notice how the snow has actually started to taper off a little bit. After this back edge clears through the area, we should be done through much of the afternoon, and we may get into some partial sunshine later in the day before sunset. Officially at the airport, there's no snow on the ground. It has not accumulated at the airport. Just about 400 of an inch of snow this month. We should be at 2.5 in our seasonal total, 57.7. Still way below average for snowfall. 43 was the high yesterday. Hope you enjoyed it because it's gone. 26 was the low this morning. 68 and 12 below zero are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon today, early snow showers are going to continue. They taper off later this afternoon. We may see some peaks of sunshine towards sunset. Cold. It's going to be cold. There's a new word, cooled. Cold and brisk, 23 to 30 will be the high temperatures today with that northwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. It stays cold through tomorrow, through the early part of the weekend. Then it turns much warmer as we go into next week. We'll talk about it in detail with that 42 degrees and sunny 7-day forecast later in the show.
Well,
Justin?
Dee, I know you shared a sneak peek with me just a little bit ago. Can't wait to share it with all of you because it's going to be
You're going to love it.
Amazing. Yes, thank you. Well, Congressman Tom Reed, he voted no on a bill that called for election reform. The bill, known as the People Act, passed by a 10-vote margin yesterday. Reed addressed the media following the vote, chastising the Democratic majority for not taking up his amendment to the bill that would require voters to present a form of voter ID during the process. He says that the bill passed was nothing short of a partisan move.
The Democrats wouldn't even allow us to have a debate on that amendment. Shows you how political this bill is. It's all driven by politics to the left. It's all driven to try to make the elections not more secure.
Now, Reed says that voter ID requirements was a concept that did see bipartisan support in the House, adding that the requirement wouldn't validate a voter's fundamental right. The bill will now head to the U.S. Senate, where it may not have enough Republican support to survive a filibuster. Well, today could be the day, emphasis on could, that the Senate takes up the COVID-19 relief bill. A Democratic aide says it thinks the procedural move will move forward. But Democratic leaders are still waiting for the official cost estimate before bringing the newly revised bill to the floor. As Britt Conway explains, getting it there has been no easy task. She's breaking down some of the compromises and delay tactics as lawmakers push to get a stimulus package passed before the extended unemployment benefits start to run out.
Closing in on the weekend, and Senate Democrats are down to the wire.
We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go.
Scrambling to put their final touches on the COVID-19 relief bill, including a compromise between the White House and moderate Democrats to narrow eligibility for the next round of stimulus checks to make it mirror House levels, capping out checks for individuals making more than $80,000 and joint filers making twice that. 2 rail and bridge projects will be stripped from the bill, and the minimum wage bump has been taken out too. Once the bill does get to the Senate floor, one senator says he'll demand it be read out loud in its entirety, an unusual move that will take about 10 hours. Then there will be up to 20 hours of debate, followed by a vote-a-rama, which is essentially an opportunity for Republicans to offer amendments to the bill.
I expect a hearty debate and some late nights.
He's right, not a single Republican is expected to vote for the bill, and they're gearing up for a messy fight.
Vast catalog of liberal spending with basically no relationship whatsoever to beating COVID-19.
This whole bill, in my opinion, gets an F grade because it fails to do what it's supposed to do.
Not going to get punked into voting for a bill that helps Pelosi bail out California.
As the president makes a final push,
Staying unified,
knowing every Democrat needs to be on board to get this bill over the finish line. I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
Britt, thank you. The passage of the bill will likely go into the weekend. Next, an update on efforts to examine policing policies here in Jamestown. And later, we tell you about a big award won by a Jamestown native who's giving back on a worldwide scale. Stay with us as WNY News Now rolls along on this dark, cold, and snowy Thursday.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Honest John says what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today, online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm. And real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. A task force seeking to reform police policies in Jamestown is now looking for the public's input about their newly drafted plan that will go before the City Council later this month. The proposed plan was released by leaders yesterday, containing goals and objectives for the Jamestown Police Department in both the short, medium, and long term. The Jamestown Police Reform Task Force has held several stakeholder meetings over the past few months to hash out details of it. The public comment period ends on Friday, March 12th at 5 o'clock, so the group can make necessary changes before submitting the plan to the City Council later this month. A public presentation of the finalized document will be held on Monday, March 22nd, with city lawmakers voting on the plan the following Monday. Residents with input are asked to email reform@jamestowny.gov. Well, the funeral for St. Bonaventure University presidents who died following a months-long battle with COVID-19 will take place Saturday. Dr. Dennis DePiro, the 21st president of the university, died on Monday as a result of complications from coronavirus. Family and friends will say their final goodbyes on Friday from 4 to 7 at Thomas Piro Jr. Funeral Home in North Syracuse. The funeral will take place at Most Holy Rosary Church on Saturday, with Mass starting at 10 in the morning. The service will also be streamed online. The doctor first assumed the role of the university's president at St. Bonaventure in 2017. The school has now created a memorial scholarship in honor of him. Well, another sign that the housing market remains red hot despite the pandemic, a new report finding that inventory is so low that homes in January sold in half the time they did a year ago. So what does that mean for buyers and sellers? Mandy Gaither with more in today's Consumer Watch.
Welcome. If you're looking to buy a home this year, get ready to act fast in this red-hot competitive market.
We have twice as much money that we need to put down on the property, and we still just can't find someone to accept the offer.
A new report from the National Association of Realtors found the number of homes for sale is so low that in January, homes sold in half the time they did a year ago. The data shows properties sold typically stayed on the market for only 21 days. That's down from 43 days a year ago.
There have been four homes this year that I was able to put under contract before I actually listed the property on the multiple listing service.
So what's behind this? Real estate investors say three things: high demand, low supply, and near zero mortgage rates, along with the COVID-19 pandemic increasing the need for home space and delaying major expenses like weddings.
Everything was put on hold, so you have a group of people with good savings that are getting into the market.
The number of available properties for sale is at a record low. Just 2 months into 2021, the supply of unsold single-family homes matched December as the lowest level since the National Association of Realtors began tracking in 1982. If you're in the market for a home, experts recommend you stay flexible and explore properties below your maximum loan amount that may need some rehabbing.
So you have that buffer zone, right? And also, don't be afraid of a little bit of grease, a little bit of TLC.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. And the median sale price for an existing home rose nearly $304,000. That's 14% higher than 1 year ago. Well, it's time to find a military service member to thank. That's because today is National Hug a GI Day. While GI has its roots with the Army, that day celebrates all branches of the U.S. military. So how can you celebrate? Well, traditionally you could offer a hug or a handshake to a service member. This year, maybe send a care package or a thank you email or card. And don't forget to use the hashtag National Hug a GI Day on social media. Certainly we thank our brave men and women. This is some of my favorite file footage that we have, Dakota. I made sure they played this. This is from the Department of Defense here in New York State, showing a flag-raising ceremony. And, you know, that's really what it's all about in the end, is protecting this great nation. And I thank them all so much. I know so many veterans, and Chautauqua County has a huge population of them, so it's not hard to find somebody to say thank you to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have a lot of friends, and I think I mentioned it before, that I have a lot of friends who have gone into the military, and I also have some family members who have also gone into the military. I mentioned before, my grandfather served in World War II. Right.
Incredible.
And also, something I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but I considered going into the military when I was in high school. I almost joined the National Guard. Don't ask me why. But I basically talked to a recruiter, but I never went through the whole process. So.
Well, hey, you never know what futures could hold. Good to see Josh. Good to see Tiffany. Great to see Ed and Brian as well. Hopefully you all are having a good day out there. And today is a much different day than yesterday weather-wise, Dakota. I got out and spent probably about maybe an hour outside. Mm-hmm. Absolutely loved it. Although I should have taken your advice. You said to get out a little bit earlier when the sun would actually be out on me.
Right.
And it was windy and cold, and I imagine that's something that probably going to continue today.
Yeah, that's going to continue today and through the next couple of days. Wanted to take a look at your sunset picture that you sent in.
This was after, cute story real quick, I know we have no time, but
yes,
this was after
eating into my weather time as always.
I went for a walk, and we decided to go get ice cream afterwards. That's what you do.
Right.
You walk, you exercise, and then you go eat your face.
Yes, exactly. You have to gain back the calories that you lost while you were walking. But this was on I-86 westbound near the Schoolhouse Road exit on I-86 in Randolph. And this was as the sun was going down last night, a nice cloud formation in the sky. And Justin, you weren't driving, were you?
Oh, no. No.
Okay, good.
I have a personal driver.
Okay, yeah.
Her name's Mackenzie.
Yeah. He's got a chauffeur. Send us your pictures, Hunters WX on Twitter and the First Defense Weather page on Facebook. And wanted to go back just a couple years ago to 2018. We had what we call incredible snow across the area in March. And we often talk about how March is a wild card month. On the 2nd of March, back a couple years ago, we had 12.2 inches for a daily snowfall total, 4.2 on the 15th. And for the month, we had 31.2 inches of snow throughout the month of March in 2018. So that's why we call it a wild card month, because anything and everything can happen in the month of March. You see a few of those snowflakes falling on the HD News Now cam downtown. We're at 25 as a noon hour with a northwest wind of 14. Have a wind gust of 21, so it is breezy out there once again today. And when you combine the average wind speed and the air temperature together, we have a wind chill number of 13 degrees. So that's what it feels like when you step outside. So it's going to be another one of those days of jackets on kind of day. Radar shows you this quick hitting blast of snow. This is pretty much what's left of it. It's basically sagging south and east. So as the back edge of this, which is now coming through the North County, as it sags its way to the south, the snow is ultimately going to end later this afternoon. And we have high pressure that's built in across pretty much the middle of the country. The high pressure is going to return again as we go into the second part of the weekend, but we do have some more snow showers on the way. FutureScan paints you that idea very well of a few of those scattered snow showers popping up across the area. We may actually get into some partly to mostly sunny skies. I think more partly than mostly by sunset time tonight. The clouds will start to thicken back up by the time we get into tomorrow. Maybe a few more scattered snow showers through the day tomorrow, and basically a repeat on Saturday. A few scattered snow showers possible with partly sunny skies throughout much of the afternoon. Now, looking down the road here, well, first of all, snowfall totals. I actually forgot I put this in here. Snowfall totals through Saturday. Yeah, we're looking at about a half an inch. Some spots in the highest hills of Cat County could get upwards of an inch. Now, further down the road, yeah, we're talking about warmer temperatures. Take a look at this. This is going into next week, 45, 50. Yes, 50 on Tuesday of next week. So we feel fairly confident that it's going to be coming our way. So in the words of The Price is Right, here it comes. But it's not from the Bob Barker studio in Hollywood. All right, zone forecast, inland temperatures today. Yeah, likely upper 20s will do it for most areas, cold with a breeze. How about the next 7 days of your life coming up right now? Brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 27 tomorrow, 28 as we go into Saturday. A few more scattered snow showers. Sun is back on Sunday, and then the temperatures go up from here as we go into next week with mostly sunny skies. We could crack 60 by this time next week. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Don't go away. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset. Every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind, to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And finally here today, a Jamestown native has won SUNY Fredonia's Lanford Presidential Prize for his academic success. Bradley Brown, a senior majoring in biochemistry who plans to matriculate to SUNY Upstate Medical University this fall, won the honor. The award recognizes a member of the graduating class who has exhibited balanced achievement and exemplifies Fredonia's ideals. Now, since enrolling there in 2017, Brown has achieved a 3.99 GPA with a minor in psychology. He is a two-time participant in Honduras Healthcare in Central America. It's a study abroad program that enables students to serve in medical brigades in Central American countries. Well, Brown was one of 11 nominees for the award. He's slated to receive it during the upcoming commencement. Congratulations, sir. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News. And now as we get a check of some local headlines. And Dakota, I actually have a pretty cool connection to that. My sister, who is studying at SUNY Fredonia, she has been on those brigades as well. So certainly great work to all of the students there. And they really do give back. And when you do something like that, the footprint is far beyond Jamestown, New York.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the one thing that I liked, I mean, you know, minus the fact that he won the award and whatnot. The one thing I liked is the fact that he minored in psychology.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the one thing that we talk about, we in the weather business and in the science industry, is the fact that we're good at physical science. We're not good at human behavior or how to properly communicate things. And so, you know, nobody who has ever taken a class in meteorology has ever taken a class in psychology or human behavior, because that's not what we're doing.
And I think today, especially with all we've been through in the last year, maybe now we'll find a better way to communicate things, because even with COVID, we get or especially with COVID, not even, we get the raw data, and it's really hard to decipher that.
Yeah.
And even medical experts have a harder time
Yeah.
to try. How do we make this so people can understand what they're actually seeing and reading about? So it's great to see that he has that element in there and that he's even furthering his education as well. So congratulations. Well, that's going to do it for us today. News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.